All right, so officially, welcome to the free masterclass. I need to fix that. Free masterclass, How to Break Through Pains of the Past. We are so very glad that you are here. I am Dallas Kohen, also known as the Rebound Coach, and my fabulous compadre is Melikia Courtney, who gets to introduce herself in un momento. Okay, and we're back. Are you going to do that for me? Yes. And I went too far. All right, a little bit about you know what? It's all right. It's all right. A little bit about ourselves. So, tiny bit of background about me. I've been a coach for 20 years. Started coaching in helping students, college students, get a job in their field of study. Then I was coaching women in entrepreneurship, helping heart-centered entrepreneurs get unstuck and get back to their dreams. And then I got married and was like, holy crap, this is so hard. It was harder than I had ever prepared for, and I was a good girl, y'all, and I like to be prepared. So I did all my steps, and then marriage was like, ha 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 ha. So I was like, this is hard. And if it was hard for me, I couldn't be the only one. So I started doing events and retreats for women in relationship, and started doing that. 2013 was my first event. 2015, I wrote my first book and launched that and was doing events. And then I met beautiful Melikia 2016, I want to say, or 2017, one of those. And I'll let her pick up the story.
And the short version is we met passing in the hallway. I was being asked what did I do for fun, and I was like, I still color. I love coloring. Dallas was coming past and overheard it and was like, I love coloring too. I had just gotten this really beautiful adult coloring book from my daughter-in-law. So we hit it off in that moment and have been thick as thieves ever since. Like literally, I am Melikia K. Courtney, your host, your co-host for the evening. And very briefly, my story, I have been loving and helping and coaching for over 20 years, whether it's domestic violence space, teaching solutions, because I don't believe in staying in it and rotting. I want you to live. So that has been my message. I've reached 174 countries by now. And I hammer that drum, I believe, in moving past your pain and your trauma. With that, and we have our time keep, y'all. We are not holding hostages today. I want to welcome you. And also thank you for being here. We know it's 9 o'clock at night on the Eastern. And we'd like to offer you a special thank you just for your time. And some of you guys are in Pacific and some in Central. And we're grateful for your time too. If you would be as kind, text, take back your power to 321-443-2495. Again, it's 321-443-2495. We want to give you a special gift for sharing your time with us because that's important and you guys are important to us. And I'm grateful. With that,
I don't know if I can do this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Melikia, if you could put that in the chat for people.
I sure will.
That would be helpful. So we want to give you your thank you gift. And so you see us together. We've done some events together. Creating sacred spaces for women is kind of my specialty. And Melikia has the gift of mercy and the gift of listening, and really hearing someone's heart. She's been that person for me and many, many, many others. And we get to do that in spaces that we create for women. Sanctuary event is coming up next month, actually a month from yesterday. I'm excited. Okay, y'all, I need to calm down. April 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's in Clearwater Beach, and we'll be sharing more about that and inviting those of you who'd like to take part. We're inviting you to join us. So those are our books over there in the corner, The Ladder by MK and I Choose Life by myself, and I'll tell more about how that came to be as we go along.
I dropped that in the chat for anyone who did not catch that number. And the one thing I didn't do was audio check. You can hear me well, Dallas?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, perfect. I just need to make sure. And
hello. I have a question. I have my hand up. I'm prepared to give you all my full undivided attention this evening because I love my cousin. But I'm only going to be able to do that if Dallas, yeah, I know you like to be prepared, but you're fucking awesome. And this is going to be fucking awesome. And please do not make any more references to the technology. Now this shit is dope. You're dope. And we're going to do whatever happens. It's going to be beautiful and amazing for all the women that showed up for you guys today.
Completely agreed. Thank you. I'll take it.
Melikia, first of all, you look great on film. You do this so well. Like all the enunciation in your, I'm like, look at my cousin. She should be Oprah. Who? Oprah who? Okay. So now that's the only way I'm going to be able to do this is because we're going to rock and roll because I know any person that my cousin is connected to is dope because she's dope.
Oh.
And you have something that you're going to change our lives this evening. And that's what I need. But those things are going to get in the way of me getting what I need from this evening. So technology does what it does. But
literally,
when you got goddesses in control, we good. Let's go.
That's right.
That's right. And we're absolutely fine. It just helps sometimes to verbally process what's happening. So that actually will bring us to our first point, function to flourish, how to get from function to flourish in your relationships. And so our stories, both mine and Melikia's, have so much depth, like anybody, right? So we're going to share it in pieces. And so I was married. Here's the headline. I was married to a man for 10 years who wanted me dead, and actually came very close to trying to make that happen. And the way I share the story, we had gotten into this cycle of coping in crisis. And so coping is that place, and this can happen in any area of your life, but right now we're just talking about relationships where you're you've come to barely making it. Your body might be barely making it. In a marriage, you might be acting as roommates, right? Housemates. You're kind of barely functioning, and you tell yourself that that's great. You tell yourself, well, he didn't punch a wall today, right? Or, he didn't yell and scream today, or he only screamed for 5 minutes instead of 10 today. Like, we're doing good. That's that barely making it. And then there's a crisis. So you do that for a certain amount of time, and then there's a big blow up of some sort. Something breaks down. In my house, that was mental illness. He has a mental illness. And so every so often we'd have a break. And that would, mess up everything. We'd have to, crawl back up out of the gutter and reset the house and go back to our coping cycle. Well, eventually, after the biggest breakdown there was, where he left for another woman, and I found out him and that woman had been plotting my murder for months by the time I found out. And so that's the biggest crisis I've ever experienced in my life. And my request to God stopped being, can we get back to what I'm used to? And became, can we break the cycle of coping? And I actually spoke those words to a coach I was working with at the time, hey, we're going in this cycle from coping to crisis. And I don't want to go back. We're in a crisis now, and I don't want to go back to coping. Wasn't trying to end my marriage, but didn't want to go back to coping. So I'll pause in the story there to say, so often in our lives that we're in that coping and crisis cycle. We're functioning, right? Especially women, we carry a lot of responsibilities, and we live by those responsibilities. That's what tells us what to pay for. That's what tells us what to do. That's what tells us what to spend our time on, our energy on, whatever we consider our responsibilities. And so we're in this function thing where we're not taking care of ourselves. We don't even know what that even means. And no, I'm not talking about bubble baths and chocolate, right? Like, that's fun. That's not care. That's comfort. Those are different. And we can lean on comforts thinking that we are self-caring, and that's not what's happening. So I want to pass back on to Melikia, because we're both pretty content rich, and I could just keep going.
And that is so true. That is a fact. We are two content rich queens over here. And I will pick up right where you are. And your story is a powerful one, but it's definitely not an isolated one. And what I wanted to focus on when we talk about this point about functioning to flourish, marital relationships are one relationship, right? But we still have so many other relationships. You're dealing with your coworkers, you're dealing with your children, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with strangers and friends and people you serve. And there is always a demand. So like Dallas shared, I love that. The difference between comfort and care, very key. And I'm hoping that everybody came prepared and is taking them notes. And then also feel free to put it in the chat. What I want to point out too was part of moving from function to flourish is going to depend on you building your own plan. And while building your own plan, that comes with building your own identity. Kind of what Dallas touched on. We are reaching here, there, and everywhere else to take care of what's on fire. Bills are on fire, the house is on fire, dinner has to be made, husband's on fire. We are taking care of all these things, and we have allowed all of those things to define us. That's who we've become. That's who we be. We be mom, we be wife, we be employee, we be owner, we be founder. But the tips that I want to lace into this part of the talk, when was the last time you sat down with you? When was the last time you sat down with you with a little pen and a paper away from everything that pings, rings, or dings and defined who you are, remembered who you were, found the woman inside and loved her? That is a life hack. That is a life hack. Doing that regularly will change your life. That's guaranteed. That's not even a maybe. Getting that perspective of yourself, and I'm looking in this direction because my panel is over here, but it will help you to define you for yourself. And part of that is taking back your power. Story-wise, you guys, Dallas and I kind of walked some of the same roads. My ex had some mental health issues too when he saw me dead in his mind and tried it, hands-on experience. And we'll talk a little bit more. I'll share more of me as we go on and through. But my focus here is to tool everyone here up for what's next. And we are building a ladder for you. All right. Take these things, put them into practice and into place. And you will find that something as simple as sitting down and doing an exercise. What do you want? What do you want? I know this one wants this one wants that for dinner. They want to be on time to their little coaching game. Husband wants you to sit down and do his whatever. What do you want? While you're sitting to define yourself, what do you need to be the best you that you want to be? Have you connected with who God is in your life? Right? Because much of our identity, the pure, the healthy identity comes from who God is, as opposed to the tainted and the demanded identity that comes from what people want from you. What do you want? And with that, we have pushed our first point, and we're going to slide a little bit into our second. I'm going to throw the mic to you just for 1 second. Dallas, if you had anything you wanted to share last on that thought.
The only thing I would say is allowing yourself to be worthy of what you want. Sometimes we don't even sit long enough to identify what we want because we tell ourselves we're not as important as responsibilities, as other people and other situations. And we have to intentionally decide that we are worth it. That's not an automatic. That's an intentional shift. And it's something that you do over and over and over and over and over again. So that's a life hack.
And it's a very true life hack. We're going to press forward because one, I want to respect your time. That's important to me. We're planning to have you guys keep us company for an hour and just a little bit, and make sure that you guys are tooled up. Masterclass is very important to me. You will get the tips that you need. And what we've just shared, function to flourish. And we're moving into our second point, how to go from broken to breakthrough and take back your power. You'll hear that out of my mouth a lot because I believe in taking back your power because I lost mine, right? And when you think about moving from broken to breakthrough, if you sit and count your tasks, for like literally start running in your mind real quick. What was on your task list today? What did you have to get done just today? And then multiply it by 7 days and consider how much weight is on you, right? That's nothing to do with you yet. The things that were demanded of you, right? Your must do's weigh so much. And then let's talk about some past stuff. Maybe you have a whole life. Maybe you've lived to this point. You're not 12 no more. Definitely, I see these beautiful faces, and we are just a day over 21. But we have lived some life, and it has been heavy, right? It has been things that break us. I'll touch on my story a little bit. I have done the work through domestic violence, childhood, and in marriage. I've done the work through rape. I've done the work through racism and abuse, and I've done the work of Black in America, right? These things are heavy. These are the things that serve to break us. But that is not a place we have to stay. And I'm sure everybody here, you have your own stories of the things that break you, the lack of community, going through stuff and got it. You guys, some of you all know my story, almost died for peeing while Black. And I served many, many communities, but what I hadn't paid attention to was the smaller circle of the numbers of who was taking care of Melikia, who was doing that. And part of that breakthrough, what I want to point out, love, is you are not alone. I am not alone. I had to come to understand that. We live life so isolated sometimes, and getting our cans kicked in by the negativity. And we have an enemy, make no mistake about that. We have an enemy, God made it clear, who is only here to steal, kill, and destroy you, right? So wouldn't it make more sense to build yourself a life that looks like community? Having someone to walk with you, you fall down, they help you up, having that female ear to hear your heart. And sometimes it's just a matter of opening your mouth and getting stuff off your chest. And then sometimes it's someone that you need to walk hand in hand with, get honest, tell your shit to, and be clear. You know, no cuteness, no makeup. This is what it is. I am broken here. This hurts. Right? That being honest piece, recognizing that you are not alone. Very, 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 very key. And then being honest. Dallas, let me pass you the mic.
Yeah, so going back, and you saw on the first slide or second slide, I showed my book. It's called I Choose Life. And literally that has been my take your power back move. And so backing up, I grew up in a good, well, I would call it a good Christian family. I had parents that loved God and loved each other and were married for a lifetime. My mother was terminally ill, so my dad was her caretaker, and we were all kind of her caretakers. And they were a good example to me. At the same time, I was molested from the time I was 8 to the time I was 16. And that radically affects, we're in a room full of women today. The statistic right now is 1 in 4 women have been sexually abused of some sort in their lifetime. And among African-American women, it's 1 in 2. So I know that I am not alone when I share that part of my story. What that did for me and what that does for many of us is it radically affects how we see ourselves, how, and I was in a faith-based home, how I related to God and how I related to men. So fast forward, when I met the man that I married and later divorced, there were definitely red flags, but as a woman of faith, I felt that God was with us. And because I felt God was with us, I felt that whatever trouble would come, we'd be able to outlast or overcome it. And trouble came right away and never quite went away. We got into that cycle that I discussed earlier with you. And, 2020 is when everything broke down for me. The end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. And I had a choice to make at that point. So, and Melikia was one of the people, when we're talking about community, she's one of those people I would call in those moments when I found out where he was, what he was doing, who he was with, when I found out that they were trying to come back and attack me and murder me and take my children. It sounds like a movie, but that was my very real life. And having that community was really powerful. Having someone just to listen to you breathe and listen to you cry and just exist together. It's so important. And so I had a choice. I was threatened as a mom, as a wife, as a woman, as a child of God, as a coach. I'd been coaching women around relationship and marriage and how to stay married in difficult situations for like 6 years. So if you can imagine everything you built an identity around, Melikia talked about identity earlier, your identity is laying in pieces on the floor and you're faced with a decision. I could allow the identity that my ex-husband had planned for me and that I had agreed to tell me who I was and who I was allowed to be and how many days I had left on the planet, or I could choose life. So writing the book, publishing the book, bringing the book to women has been my move to take my power back. And I continue to do so every day. I can continue to gain ground. I want to make sure you know that this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We didn't get where we were overnight. We don't get out overnight. What is important is not to let life happen to you, but to pay attention to how you feel, why you feel how you feel. Pay attention to where your supports are. Pay attention to what feeds your soul. Pay attention to when's the last time you did that. And who you choose to surround yourself with. Who you choose, we get to choose who we surround ourselves with.
That part.
And so very often we just kind of let life do its thing. And we impact our life, right? Like we draw people to us, we repel people from us, we draw situations to us, we repel, all based on that internal story. And if you don't know what the story is, you're just going to live out effects and blame other people.
That's very true.
I'm going to pass it on because I feel the fire rising.
Feel the fire. Hold up. Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. And it's hard not to feel the fire rising, right? So I appreciate what you shared. I've had that conversation like 3 times today, Dallas. We did not come to the corner of pain that we are in a day. So save Christ coming in and healing and giving you that one work. We got work to do. Don't be afraid of the work. And I wasn't kidding about being on time. So I will give you some.
No, it flows right in. It flows right in. That's why I did that. That's why I did that. Flows right in.
And the fun is, I share with you guys very briefly, almost dying for peeing more Black. It's a very real experience to recognize that your life could end from an event that is happening in your life, but it doesn't. And then you're still here, right? What do you do with the pain? What do you do with the trauma? How do you translate or transmute and ditch it? And that's what we are here for today. We've already covered the function to flourish and shared a few tips about relationship. We've already covered broken to breakthrough. Take back your power, and you're not alone, and understand that building a community is a must. Doing the things that takes care of you is a must. And we are definitely going to move into our point 3. Y'all, we have stories. We have stories like candy. I promise we do. What is your story? Because I bet you everybody on here has that one story that comes to mind, that thing that you sit in and be like, I cannot stand that XYZ person, whoever they is. Mine, his name was He Who Shall Remain Nameless, is literally how I call him in the book. That's his name. And for me, it was, I was stuck. I was stuck in the pain of what occurred. I was stuck in the shame of a failed marriage. I was stuck in having to figure out life forward for myself and my children. I was stuck, and I couldn't understand for the life of me, why wasn't I moving forward? Like what was anchoring me so hard that I would be able to climb up here? I done made 10 steps forward, and I'm thinking I done climbed up out of this thing. I am good. I'm good. Next thing I know, floor. And I'm like, Holy Spirit, why am I on the floor? Unforgiveness. Unforgiveness. Unforgiveness will trip up your whole life. It will burn down your whole bridge. You will have built something so amazing and so beautiful, and you are ready to live and exist and enjoy all of that. And God will tap your tail on the shoulder, like, hold on, homie. We got something to deal with. And I mentioned rape earlier. To sit and have to forgive such a heinous act. Dallas mentioned her ex-husband, hallelujah, trying to murder her. I'm going in there. My ex-husband's a hallelujah too, so don't think it's just one hallelujah, right? But to understand that who God is, how big life is, and we get stuck on the situations to us that are enormous, but in the picture of who God is and what is available, yes, it happened. It does not erase because we want it to, but what does erase if you don't address the unforgiveness is the rest of your, right? The good stuff that's still waiting on you. If I sat in that unforgiveness one little bit longer, I can't believe that I would have gotten back up to bathe. Can't believe that I would have got up to get them kids to school or fed or anything else that mattered, paid a bill, kept the light on, live indoors. That unforgiveness is a wrecker. It's a wrecker of your life, your goals, your dreams, and your soul. And I'm pointing at it today. I'm plucking these cords and we are moving through things in a masterclass level. And we would love to deep dive further into these with you ladies, one-on-one, individually, and group style, because it's so much, y'all. But do understand what I'm sharing you right now. Identify what is pinning you in place. What has you stuck? And you do so much forward, and damn it, here comes the rain, wash you right back. Find out what has you, what is holding you. Is it worth it? These are the things you have to balance it back. As you forgive, that's what the word says. As you forgive, you forgive. Right? So there is an exchange. Dallas, and I'm in exchange right now. I'll give you the mic.
So I want to tell you a story. And then I'm going to circle back to forgiveness because I have an important point there. Okay. So years ago, I had a best friend, like 20 years ago. Okay. So a long time ago. And she was a personal trainer, and I've always been I've always been overweight, always been big. And so we met and we clicked, and early on in the relationship, I was in her car, and I never forget this. Sometimes you have moments where you remember exactly where you are, what you were looking at, what it smelled like, what the sound was like. This was one of those moments for me. Mm-hmm. We were talking about health and weight and wellness. And she says, I don't mean to be offensive. When people start with that, they're about to be offensive. She says, I don't mean to be offensive. But like, how do you live with yourself? And now, mind you, she's from the other side of the tracks. She's slim, she's fit, she's white, different socioeconomic status, different, just different. And so she did not really and truly did not have the capacity to understand people who had a different experience than her. Mm. And in the moment, I very confidently turned and looked at her and was like, shoot, I don't get my worth from that. And it's true, right? That was true. It is true, right? I got my worth from accomplishments, which is it's a whole other problem. It is still a problem, but I've always been very achieving, and I serve high achieving women as a coach. I serve high achieving women of faith who've experienced betrayal, trauma, or abuse of any kind and want to reclaim territory in their relationship with themselves. But at that time, I was like, I don't find worth in that. I find worth in this, and this, right? So the conversation happened. But looking back to that where my identity was. So Melikia talked about identity and the story that's keeping you stuck, right? So even though I didn't get my worth from that, there was and is a story connected to my health. So I'm on a health journey now. So that's where my brain is. And that's what my heart is processing through a new levels of that for me all these years later. And so there is our minds and bodies want desperately to be comfortable. It's our default setting. And so when there's a situation that creates cognitive dissonance, right? The difference between what we see and what we want, right? There's a struggle. Our brain automatically fills in the gaps with stories. These stories do not have to be true, and most of the time are not, but they make us feel better and feel okay with whatever it is that's happening. And we tell ourselves things like, I don't have control over this. We tell ourselves things like, it happened to me, I don't get to do anything about it. We tell ourselves things like, I can't afford it. We tell ourselves things like, I'm not going to be able to arrange things and get childcare and do what I need to do to go take this opportunity. We tell ourselves all sorts of things.
Yes, we do.
Those are also stories that keep us stuck. So sometimes we look for the deep thing, and there normally is a few deep things to find, but there's also just regular old-fashioned, nobody likes me. I have a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old. You saw them in the pictures earlier. And I have a 9-year-old that says, nobody likes me at school. Everybody's mean to me. I don't like going to school. I just sit by, no one's my friend. No one is nice to me in the whole school. And everyone's nice to my sister, right? It's a story. And when we tell ourselves stories, we behave in alignment with our stories.
That's true.
And they keep us stuck. Beautiful thing is we have the power to change the story. It's not easy, but so what? So what? You've got what, the rest of your life to either live on destructive default or put on your big girl panties and make a change. And with that, I'm passing it on.
Come on, let me grab that mic. Hey, I love what you shared. That's fire, and I'm so sorry that you had that experience. Dallas, it's for someone here. Sorry, but I'm happy with your response to it, and I love what you shared about changing your story. So I'm going to throw out a 1 minute, another life hack, y'all. Catch. And then I'm passing the mic right back to Dallas because we have truly covered our points. When I talked about the function of flourish, when I talked about the broken and breakthrough, and we have talked to you and shared with you, ain't even talked to you, just straight up shared us with you on the importance of identifying the story that has you stuck. Key, life hack. One thing I love to do, and I only love to do this because the Holy Spirit taught me and I practiced it. I was like, I'm a listener, y'all. You will hear that again and again. I am listening to the Holy Spirit first. You better know it, right? I asked the question, God, what do you want your people to know? And this is one thing that I truly share. There was a time where I was dealing with the divorcing of my ex-husband, right? I was away, but he didn't want to let me be away. He wanted to stop me for about 12 more years. And dealing with all of that anxiety and that stress and like this, I needed something. I needed something to rewrite the loops in my mind. And this is what will help you move out of your story. This is a life hack. I normally charge people a lot of money to tell them part of these things, but I'm sharing this with you for free because it's I see how the earth is moving. This is something that's needed. Something simple as this. That thought is looping, driving you battying up the wall. You have sat, you've done your work, you're quiet, you know what's running around in your mind. You catch that negative thought, listen, just like I have it here, and you pull that bad boy out and get a look at it. You remove it from your mindset. You can do one or two things. The first thing that I did do was I just let it burn. I just held it, and in my mind's eye, I watched it burn until it was gone, and I let that ash go, and I moved on, clearer of mind, missing that thought because I removed it. Eventually, I went on to grab that thought, pull it out. Holy Spirit was like, you can rewrite it. That was an uplifting moment for me. Rewrite it. Oh, well, here we go. I began to rewrite all them negative little horrible things that was dancing around in my head. I rewrote it. I let it go, reintroduced it to my mind, and I went hunting for it. I went hunting for that good thought about myself. I am whole, I am perfect, I am strong, I am powerful, I'm loving, I'm harmonious, I'm happy. And I encourage you to get your own good thoughts, rewrite that negativity, reintroduce it, and then rehearse it, because your thoughts become your heartbeat. They become your habits. They become your lifestyle and expression. And that is just another life hack that I wanted to make sure I share with you all tonight, because it does make the difference. Very simple things. I'm not throwing stuff at you that costs $18,000 because that's I charge that. But these are things that you can, I mean, it's just the truth. These are things that you can do in you, in yourself. With that, I want to toss the microphone back over to Dallas.
Okay, so I forgot to talk about forgiveness and unforgiveness. I said I would, and I forgot. So, okay, 30 seconds, because I want to make sure we're on time. What many women, so I serve a lot of faith-based women that have been in emotionally abusive relationships. That's not all that I serve, but a lot. And so that culture, that church culture tells people that forgiveness means reconcile. You know, if you forgive that spouse, you need to reconcile. Actually, they say you need to reconcile and you have to forgive them in order to reconcile. Like, it's a whole thing.
Oh, yes.
Here's the for real. And at every chance I get to talk, when we talk about forgiveness, here's the point I want to make. Forgiveness does not mean reconcile. Those are two very separate actions. Repentance is required for reconciliation. This is the way God treats us. This is the way we are to treat each other. Forgiveness, I can forgive you and not reconcile with you based on whether or not you are repentant. And even if you are repentant, I am not obligated. Not obligated to reconcile. Okay.
Right. We over here writing permission slips.
Right? Like, I want to make sure, because people stay bound. We're talking about stories that keep you stuck. People stay bound because they feel like, well, I have to reconcile. Well, if I don't forgive, I'm not pleasing God. And if I forgive, I have to reconcile, and I don't want to do that. So they stay stuck, right? No, be free. Be free. And this is time to transition.
We are keeping our word. We are truly on our word tonight, because these are things that we can really lay out in. I mean, I tell you what, we can lay out in this. Either one of us can rock about 6 hours of this training, to be honest, because of how many people we've helped. You know what I mean? It's how many stories we have of our own, right? So I love what you shared. Very important. You know, that's so key. Many of us were raised in that religion parameter, and God don't love me no more if I this or that. I had the same experience. If you get divorced, you get excommunicated, God's not happy, all these other things. And I was like, does that mean that God will be happy if I was to stay and be killed? You get to weighing those things out. You get to weighing out all the things you were taught and all the things that you believed, and you begin to think anew and change the thought life. And it's a beautiful thing. I've enjoyed our time together. We're gonna have to do this again, Dallas, and we're gonna have to maybe take it one point and rock it all the way through the hour, because this has been so good. This has been so good.
I was just about to say that. I didn't mean to take myself off mute, because I know how to behave during the Zoom meeting, and especially during the masterclass. But I said, these ladies are on fire. They are sharing their stories. They're uninhibited, unblocked. They're sharing their stories, and people can grunt, girl, you know, her husband tried to kill her. But you're sharing, and see, that's where the power comes in, when women can share their stories with one another without fear of judgment, because they feel safe to do so. Because I know in sharing my story, it's going to do something for you. And just have the conversation. See, but the stories are all jacked up. I see where y'all go. I'm like, dude, they don't even understand. They just did about 150 episodes of this in about 44 minutes, minus the technical difficulties. I'm like, they just did like about at least 4 years worth of Shonda Rhimes content.
I'm telling you, you ain't seen this. This is only and I spent so many years avoiding sitting down in the media part, because I love the belly to belly. But God has been dealing with me so heavy. Get your behind, record it, go speak to the people. So I'm being obedient right now. Dallas has already been on the boat. She's keeping up with her Wednesdays and out there having these conversations in the masses. So I'm coming along.
You can find me each Wednesday night. 9:30 is normally when I start, 9:30 Eastern, on Facebook, facebook.com/The Rebound Coach. I also put it on YouTube if you miss Wednesday night, youtube.com/Dallas Kohen. So speaking of sacred spaces, thank you, ladies. I see your chat saying, you know, we created a safe space, and we actually have created a 3-day experience We want you to be able to share your stories and be safe and be loved and be heard and be seen. And the way I tell it, we create a space where there's love you can sit in. It's tangible love. Love you can take a bath in and roll over your body. Love that goes in your pores and seeps through and you can saturate. And that's what we've done in this event called Sanctuary. So we're going to share about that. Am I passing?
You're fine, go right ahead, because I'm putting the notes into the chat for everybody.
Okay, awesome. So Sanctuary is a 3-day event. It is Friday, April 8th, which is a month away, through Sunday, April 10th. It's in Clearwater Beach. It's at a place called the Edge Hotel, which this is spring break time. So the rooms are actually going very quickly. I just secured my room, and yeah. So what's included in your Sanctuary ticket is 3 days at the #1 ranked beach destination in the US and #5 worldwide, Clearwater Beach is. And this hotel where our retreat is located is literally 4 minutes walk to the sand. And one of our sessions is actually a beach session. So we have a VIP healing journey, and you'll actually get to see a little snippet of that coming up. I have a video to show you from our last Sanctuary. But we have a VIP healing journey brought on by an expert team of facilitators. So Melikia and we also have Apostle Marguerite, which is a bad mama jamma. Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
For real. Powerful, powerful, powerful woman. Also, Hannah Scott is part of our team. And we are an expert team of facilitators who paid our way in healing and effort to bring you through something powerful. We have a signature Sanctuary experience. Again, you'll get to see some clips of that and include some spa treatments, y'all. Okay, sorry, stands for myself. It's beautiful. We have custom keepsakes that we make for you that are not just like a fun water bottle, right? Okay, so I'm talking about something real. It's not your mama's conference. This is not that. This is not just a regular church conference. We don't allow 50 or 100 women to come. We are literally pouring ourselves out into the women. We only allow 12. This go around, we're only allowing 12 spots. Once they are gone, they're gone. So I highly recommend you take action this evening. So custom keepsakes, beach session, swag bag. So fun stuff too. Powerful impact sessions. We do a professional photo shoot. Jamie is on here. She was at last Sanctuary and uses those pictures for like headshots and other fun things. It's her at the beach. It's pretty. It's very fabulous. Her hair's in the wind. Like it's all. And I feed y'all. Okay, so we dine on the rooftop. We have a big full feast, a full banquet Saturday night. It's all really special. So everything included. Now your room is not included. I need to say that. But everything that's on this list is included, and that's valued at $5,000. No joke.
And before you jump to the next slide, let me check for just 2 seconds. I want you to get to the next slide, but there's something important to say. You hear what we've shared so far. What also needs to be understood is when I go into preparation for Sanctuary, Dallas will tell you, we're moving into the presence of God. I do not play about that praise and worship. I do not play about setting an atmosphere, nor does Dallas, nor does Pastor Marguerite. So yeah, we're gonna do some care and we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna do the girly things. It's gonna be great. But baby, do know you come to do your work and get that thing off of you, whatever is pinning your growth, whatever is holding you back, those stories and those narratives that have been killing your life, the you forgot and left long behind. We are here to help you get her back, better her and build her, and not just abandon you after the process is over, but work with you to get you, the you defined as you, in order. Go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, make no mistake. And And from you'll hear testimonies, but from last sanctuary, people got physical healing, people got emotional healing. A woman was there who had extremely traumatic childhood sexual abuse and literally said, you know, I was stuck until sanctuary. That just like I'm still getting emotional over it.
Decades, y'all.
God meets us at sanctuary in a way you don't get at church, and you're not going to get through a screen. Okay? You are gifting yourself. You're gifting yourself freedom. And we talk about being worth it, and we talk about loving ourselves, and we talk about you know, all this confidence we have. Well, put your money where your mouth is. When's the last time you showed up for yourself?
Bingo.
So our value is $5,000. We have a regular price of $2,500. That's our general admission. We had an early bird price of $1,000 that expired at the end of February. So February 28th, the price went away. It went up to $2,000. If you go on our website right now, that's what it says. What we're doing for those of you who joined us on the masterclass is extending that $1,000 early bird special, because we value your time and your investment in yourself and showing up tonight. And for those of you who are freaking out in your mind and you're going, oh my God, $1,000, how am I going to come up with $1,000 all at once? Like, I need to break this up. I got to break this in paychecks. We got you. We have an installment plan. You have two options. You can do 2 payments of $600, or you can do 4 payments of $349. Okay. Yes, that's over $1,000 because it cost us more to do it this way. So we want you to have that opportunity. We don't want finances to be a challenge. It can be, but again, it's a story we tell ourselves. It's a story we tell ourselves. I can't overcome this. I guess I can't do it. There are no accidents. There are 0 accidents. The fact that you are here with us tonight is not an accident. What we've shared is not an accident. And part of why my life has been my life and Melikia's life has been her life is because of this moment. Because of this moment right here and this opportunity that's in front of you right now. We've paid in tears and trauma for this moment.
I'm picking up the chat too. In the chat, someone wrote, is Debrea, yes, it's a freedom that you can't put a price on. Miss Debrea experienced last year, and Jamie wrote too, I experienced true healing there and spent time with powerful women of God, laughed and cried. Those are 2 testimonies from people who are in the room, and to understand the power of what is set before you. When I mentioned that I almost died for peeing while black part, that is how we came to have sanctuary, because I understood what it was like to go through traumas and pains and past and be stuck in it, to be alone, to need the community of women who knew how to touch God, women who knew how to pray, who knew how to lay on and lay in there with you and walk and step you through to the healing that you need. Hadn't mentioned it before, but I'll mention it now. I am a healer. That's why it's belly to belly. That's why we keep it small, because this thing is so big, y'all. And the way God moves, I'm gonna leave it right there. Go ahead, Dallas.
So I'm gonna show you video. Documentation beats conversation.
Okay.
So I can show you better than I can tell you.
That's it.
And let me know if you cannot hear or you can hear. You can hear?
Hello, my name is Barbara, and I had the honor and privilege of attending Dallas Cohen's Sanctuary event. This event has blessed me truly. It's given me an opportunity to step away from the everyday noise and busyness of life and just pour into my heart and my soul. From the teachings all the way to the prayer and just the community with other believers. I was just blessed to be able to connect, and it's such a wonderful opportunity to reconnect and rededicate, everything that you believe in and do that at a spiritual level. So I truly enjoyed attending, and I'm really looking forward to returning again.
Hey beautiful friends, my name is Hannah E. Scott. I was one of the speakers at this event, but I also had the beautiful opportunity of also experiencing it, and I just have to say, this experience was magical. There were many tears, so much laughter and healing and breakthrough moments that I got to experience with other people, and just the women who just came around each other in community was so beautiful. So if you're considering coming to this event in the future or getting in contact with Dallas, please do so. You will not regret it. It's such a beautiful experience, and I was so happy that I come, and I hope to see you guys at the next one. Bye.
Yay.
It's flowers to my heart every time I see it. It's healing to my heart every time I see it. And experience this through women who are being healed. Something so traumatic, birth something so beautiful, and we just getting started.
Yes. So we've shared an opportunity with you to join us at Sanctuary, and no matter what we say, there's three kinds of folks. There's people who say, thanks, but I'm good. The story I'm telling myself, I'm gonna give that the priority here, and I've got myself together. I'm functioning. I'm coping. I got this. That was me singing.
You see
That was incredible.
Thank you. I thought it was a question first. But the first person says, I got this, thanks, but no thanks. And we honor you if that is you. We honor you no matter where you are. And if that's you, I think our books might be a great place to start. Finding out more about who we are and if those stories resonate with you at all. Person number two says, I need to stop and think and consider and talk to my husband and my friends, and I need to talk to God and the dog and everyone else to decide if I can take this step and take care of me. And if you need that, I guess that's the life you want to live. It's the story you tell yourself. If we're talking about taking our power back today, so deciding that I have the power to make my own decision and do something good for myself. And when we make those decisions, the obstacles fall. We find ways around, up, over, through, under. We find ways around. It's the absolute truth. True. And person number three says, I'm all in. I might not know how it's going to look. I might not know. I need to take care. I need to find some place for my kids to be. And I need to get on a plane, and I need to get a hotel room. I might not know how I'm going to work, but you know what? This is for me. This is for me. So if you are person number three and this struck a chord with you and you need to be here, your next step is going to thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. I can put that in the chat as well, and you can just pop it right in your browser. It takes you to our page where the Masterclass special is. That will not be up forever. That special will not be up forever. Probably maybe a week. Maybe the end of the weekend. Because we want you to take action. Oh, thanks for putting that in there. Otherwise it doesn't work. Otherwise it's just another thing you got excited about and let die.
Oh, that hurt hearing.
It's the truth. How many times did you sit in a room and hear an opportunity and get excited and let the stories eat your blessing? eat your breakthrough. You have a choice.
True.
I'm gonna pass it back.
Thank you for sharing that. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve you tonight. We definitely ran through our points, function to flourish, broken the breakthrough, and the importance of forgiveness. You've been offered an opportunity. Dallas has already addressed the primary objections, the money or the time and all the logistics that come into that. Please don't excuse yourself to death. Please don't excuse yourself to death. And it's this week alone, I've had 2 calls, 41 years old, and I don't know the age of the other person, but they were younger. Gone. Shouldn't have to be that way. Don't let that be your story. Let your story be the one of, hey, I took time to rewrite my story. I wrote something beautiful for myself. I wrote something along the lines of what God wrote for me, and I am banging that drum. I will die on that hill, the hill of loving me, the hill of saving me, the hill of going as hard for myself as I do for everybody else. And you know, I lay my life down for my people, but I lay my life down for me too. I had to learn that order, right? And we focus on that there. You guys have heard everything that we need to share with you for tonight. I'm looking forward to our next time together.
So Danielle asked, how can we register? So I want to show you. I'm going to do a quick screen share so I can walk you through that. So where you go is thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. And this is what it looks like when it comes up. Sanctuary Women's Retreat. Okay, you guys can see that, right? Yes?
Yes.
No? Okay, great. Thanks. Make sure I was sharing. All right, so you see it says Masterclass Special. So right here, you choose either early bird, you're doing it all at once, or you're going to do one of the 2 installment options. There's your options right here. Either 2, you're doing it in 2 parts or 4 parts. Okay. Then once you've done that, it takes you through PayPal. Okay, takes you through PayPal. Then you come back here and give me your information here. Sanctuary registration. It's all on the same page here. PayPal will open in a separate page. Put your info here, then we've got it. We'll be in touch after that. You hit submit down here. That's it.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
More videos, and it's more fun when you do this with someone you love. True. So if you have a bestie you want to do this with, this is where you show her to go. Like, hey, let's do this together. Okay. So there's other videos you can share because they're like, what is it? I don't want to sit through an hour. And you see right here, okay, that happens to people. You see our regular price right here. So it's no joke. We really are extending something to you for this week because we value you showing up for you and we want to meet you there.
Rule number 1, Dallas, how can people reach you off this app? You just took them to your website. Where else?
On the socials, so facebook.com/thereboundcoach, youtube.com/Dallas Kohen, also on Insta and Clubhouse, more and more.
So to be in contact with me, and as you all understand, we're both coaches and we're both human, we're both women, and we love the women in our lives. You can reach me on all the social medias simply as Melikia Courtney, with exception of Instagram, because I was having fun that day, and it's Santa's Helper, SANTAZHELPR. And I am who I am. You see me right here. I am that person on all those other mischievous places. Speaking of Clubhouse, I do run a mastermind Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you need accountability, you want to grow. We do also have keynote Zooms for our club only. That's private. You have to join a club and be a part of that part to be a part of that part. For us there to know I love you. And I hear people say, I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. I don't ascribe to that foolishness. There is something you can do about it. Love me back.
So sure. I want to answer the question in the chat. Sure. There's a couple different ways to find it. I found a room at the Edge, not at the Edge's website. But if that doesn't work, because that's happening, that's for real happening right now. you can find, there's other places right nearby. Across the street, there's hotels on each side. So there's ways to get it done. I do want to be able to take questions. So I'm going to, well,
Stop the recording? Or do you want
yeah,
to
I was gonna, depends. If you have comments, if you want to share something that resonated with you, if you have questions about sanctuary, you need technical help, we want to stay on and answer a few questions. And for those of you who need to go, we understand that too. It's 10:09. We value your time. So we'll transition into Q&A.
Ladies, this is Kim. Hey, Dallas. Hey, Melikia. Hi, yeah,
Hey,
I
girl.
met Melikia yesterday on Clubhouse, and she was amazing. So, I just wanted to say thank you so much, ladies. This was powerful. I mean, yes, an hour was not enough. It wasn't enough, but the nuggets and just all the wealth of information, it's just so powerful. So I truly appreciate you, ladies.
Fries for me and fried hot dogs.
Oh,
We have an intruder alert. There's a man. Sir.
what I wanted to say, I actually had booked me a solo trip that same time, during the same time, to Siesta Key by myself, because a lot of stuff is transitioning in my life. But what I'm gonna try to do is move my date. So I'm gonna attempt to do that to see what I can do to, if I can potentially participate. So
Oh, Kimmy, it would be so good to have you in my space. So good. I've been waiting years to pour into you. I'm for real. She don't know that, but like, it's been a long time coming.
Thank you so much. But yes, that's what I'm going to make every attempt to do, as I had already wanted to do something to, kind of pour back into myself. And so that's why I had made these plans in April for, Siesta Key. So we'll see what adjustments I can make there.
The orders of business, Dallas. One, we did have some folks who came in afterwards. We would like to give you a thank you gift. So if you would text hashtag TYPB, take your power back, to 321-443-2495. We'll make sure we get you your special gift out. And then the other order of business. Well, the recording is still going, but I'm still going to share it with you ladies, because I'm sure you have men in your life. What is provided here, I also am providing for the men. That's a sanctuary experience for men. That's May 20th through the 22nd. And we're gearing up for that. I have two incredible gentlemen who are going to be heading that up. I'm in the background, cheerleader, rah, 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 organizing everything. And it falls under my sanctuary umbrella. They're incredible coaches. And if you have a man in your life who has had that trauma, that pain, that overwhelm, men who have been raped, men who have been abandoned, men who have been abused, they go through it too, ladies. Definitely connect him with me so that we can get him the care that he needs as well. Because what sense does it make to build you up? But if the person, the man in your life, is not doing the work too. So let's get something going here. Throwing that out.
Questions?
I just want to share something. Warren Buffett says it the best investment you can make is in yourself. And by attending Sanctuary, you're investing in yourself, and you're investing in learning about your true identity in God, and spending time with powerful, incredible women who are rooted in the Lord. And I can't say enough about my experience. It was absolutely incredible. And sign up. Trust God, be brave, sign up.
Did Delvin Garrison belong to anyone in the room?
Me.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And you'll be able to help him.
Yep.
I just want to make sure he was taken care of. I don't want him to feel like, hey.
Oh, Daryl's a girl. Devlin?
No. I was a woman.
Devlin's a woman.
Oh, I heard a man's voice. Please. Okay.
Yeah, it like in the background. Did you
I
bounce
think
her?
it was a male. It was a
I
male.
didn't bounce anybody. I didn't
It
Okay.
was a male in the background. Yeah, it was a male in the background.
Yeah, but just in the background. Devlin is a lady.
Okay, fair enough. And thank you so much, Jamie, for sharing that. We're over here doing housekeeping in the middle of the two, but I want to make sure everyone's taken care of. Important.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello, lovely lady.
Yes. Sanctuary experience.
Oh, here comes the good
You
stuff.
cannot you have to be there. You have to experience it. I was there. I always tell my stories and I share the information because it's so important. I came as an assistant. I am Apostle Marguerite's assistant. So I came as an assistant. Was not participating in nothing. But God met me. He knew what I needed. Even though I was aware of certain things, but I didn't know how deep rooted it was. If you ever saw the pictures the first night to the last day, well, that last day has settled in. It has taken root. It is flying. It is soaring into a whole new dimension. I have had both Dallas Cohen and I had Melikia. They're all will be on my show. Dallas has already been on my show, Creative Live, and I have been on Dallas. It is such a great, great, great experience to feel the presence of God, how God used these women. This is what the world needs. This is when you have been called and anointed and a vessel of honor that God can use you to meet other people, meet their demands, not that they're saying it, but because you can see it and you can feel it in the spirit. When you come there, and I'm leaving people to come from the north, east, south, and west, that the explosion that they're going to have in their life, they will never, ever be the same. This is only a beginning of a beginning of a beginning, because it was created at the very beginning. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Love you guys.
Appreciate you and Jamie for sharing. Thank you so much.
She just got that power that just be
Clear.
coming off.
All the
I'm always
prayer
up.
and the planning that went into sanctuary. God probably was like ready. Like, who I can't wait to show up. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this one too.
Good evening, ladies.
Salud, Miss Naomi. Hi.
My name is Jacqueline Johnson. I met Dallas at, I think it was the tail end of your experience, Dallas, prior to your divorce. And I recognized then what a powerful young woman she was. She was strong and brave. And I've always had her in the back of my mind that I knew she was going to be doing or was doing something great. I just didn't know what it was, but now I see. So I thank you for the invite, and I would like to come, but I will be getting out of the hospital. My husband and I've had some health issues, he and I both, and we've had to counter this COVID thing. I came down with COVID. Now I was vaccinated and boosted and all of that, but my immune system was so compromised, I contracted it. So I haven't even been able to get out for a while, but they're trying to make sure that I can schedule out so I can get the surgery done. My husband has his health issues too, but I want to be kept in the loop. And I want you to know that I will be praying for you guys. I know what God has said, what God will do. And I have a group of ladies that I mentor sometimes.